Little surprise, little surprise. I think it might be safe to say this. So, for those of you who have been wanting to come to the meetup on the 24th and it's been sold out, there may be a new opportunity for you to attend. It's not official yet. Probably by next week, it'll be official. Official. I was about to create a new word, officiable. um, and if you're on our email list or in Blaxit Global Passport, you'll know, or a channel member. But yeah, those people will know first if you want to be in the know and the waitlisted people. But it's possible that there's something else I'm planning. So yeah, let me check and see who's in the chat and say, hey. Cheryl was first this week. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, BJ, how you doing? Boa tarde. Hey, Jametta. Hey, how you doing? Hey, life is good. Life is great. Hey, Desiree, how are you? Yeah, I figure. And here it's funny because today I washed my hair and then I had to twist it. And I'm like, ooh, I need a rinse. Because it's like a crop dust or a flower has fallen in the top of my scalp. But it's all good because, I cut my hair day after Christmas. So the fact that it's this long and I cut it all the way off, like, I'm impressed with myself. So I can't wait to take this little girl down tomorrow and be out here showing her off. Yeah, my hair grows fast. Hey, Patricia, how you doing? What other announcements do I have for you? Oh, yes. Accountability group. So those of you who are in Blaxit Global Passport, or who are considering, you're looking for community, you're ready to move abroad, you need to make it happen. Look, we have accountability group this Sunday. So if you have been on the fence, thinking about moving abroad, don't know how to do it, need other people to cheer you on, this is the time. Join Passport. We've got a bunch of stuff planned and some stuff that's in the works. Some workshops for this month that I'm still working on coming to fruition. So we'll be doing that as well. Hey, Omalayon. Hey, boa tarde. Hello. Okay. So I think that was it for the big announcements. I'm going to keep it brief because, like I said, I have a guest. So without further ado, so my next guest is a phenomenal woman. And you should know, like, I'm only going to bring y'all the best of the best, right? And her story is so compelling and very interesting for a variety of reasons, much of which she'll be the one to tell you about. But what I found fascinating was that she recently left the US to go to the continent, to go to Rwanda. So I was like, yes, we have to have this conversation, and we have to have this conversation live. So I am bringing up Val. Hey, Val.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, it's good to see you again. I'm doing well. And so, like I said, I'm here in Portugal, and Val is in Rwanda.
Yes.
Yes. With all the glow, all the happiness, all the freedom.
Yeah. Yes. You can just read
Yes.
my face.
Yes, exactly. Like when we had this conversation, because I'm getting everybody else up to speed. We had a conversation probably a little over a week ago, and Val was sitting on her balcony, trees, beautiful, lush green in the background. She just was like soft living. And I was like, yes to that.
Yes, that's what I came for. It's dark now, so like where you are, it's still light, but here it's like around 9:30, and
Yeah.
it's actually getting cold here.
Oh, okay.
And I was in the salon today, and I said, "Hey, it's getting cold outside." I said, "Is this no?" They said, "Well, yeah, it's summer." And I'm like, yes,
Wow.
summer. For me, summer is hot, especially in
Yeah.
July, right, in the United States.
Right.
And it's like I was like, it's kind of cold, like it's chilly. I need a little jacket on, you know? And they were just kind of looking at me like, yeah, it's summertime. So
Look, you're going to be going through all the things, as you go along, figuring it out, like the surprises, like that.
yes.
And it's like I'm cheating a little bit in terms of the light because I have studio lights that keep me illuminated. But I would love it if you would tell the fine folks a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into it.
Okay. Well, listen, my name is Val. Everyone calls me Val, Val Dantzler. And, now I am an American living in Kigali, Rwanda, which is in East Africa, and I'm living my best, absolutely best life. Um, let's see, about what, 9 months ago? I guess you could say definitely during the election, when the results came in. I immediately started scrolling and saying, God, I'm not going to be going through this. I'm not going to be going through the gaslighting and all of that. So I immediately was looking, well, where am I going to go to? And I've only lived in the United States, but I just knew I wasn't going to stay there. Um, and in my spirit, I heard Africa, and I'm like, what do you mean Africa? I've never even thought about being in Africa. And I said, well, let me just go on YouTube and see what's going on. What should I look for? And it came up Kigali, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot. I mean, it came up actually Nairobi, Kenya. And I was like, oh my goodness, all of these buildings and this infrastructure, it's better than what I have in Charlotte, right? And I was just mesmerized because I had a preconceived notion all of this time, all these 50 some odd years of what I thought Africa was. And I was pleasantly surprised. And long story short, I'm here in Kigali, Rwanda, East Africa, and I absolutely love it. Every day, I know it was the right decision for me.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Look, like I said, the glow said everything. And so before, it sounds like your like breaking point, if you will, or last straw was the election result.
Yeah.
Had you been thinking about moving abroad before then? Were there like, I don't know, signs or signals that made you think that the jig was up, that it was time to leave the States?
Well, I would say, I always kind of fantasize about living somewhere else, right?
Mm.
But I was too much in the hustle and bustle of living
Mm.
in the United States. I mean, I'm, single, had all the responsibility on my shoulders, right? And so, I mean, life was a grind, and you get in that grind, and you kind of lose track of time, and you look up,
Wow.
and it's 15 years later, 20 years later, and I'm looking at myself. I'm not really where I want to be in life, or I haven't gone to that other country that I said I was going to go to, right? So when the results of the election happened, that was, I guess, the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nah, I'm not going through this. And I started, studying the mind, and I'm a neuroencoding specialist. So that's my specialty. And I do it for myself as well. I take people from exhaustion to a life of ease.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I do it for myself as well as clients and all too. But uh, I was like, I'm aware that this is not what I really want. And I had
Mm-hmm.
learned to start listening to my inner voice, which is, I believe, my connection, to God. And
Mm-hmm.
I just had to listen to it. And I had to be courageous enough to listen to it and let it guide me. And so it
Yeah.
guided me here.
Yeah. And that is so profound because the way that I was listening to you and you were talking about, the hustle and grind, and I was there, you've been there, many people that are watching this now and in the future can definitely identify with that, like just trying to keep one foot in front of the other, just stay on the hamster wheel. And like you said, decades go by, right? And then you realize, like, wow, where, like, I'm treading water. I'm not moving
Exactly.
forward. I'm not moving back. I'm just barely keeping my head above water. And so when you look around and you're able to be still, and I would love it for those that, aren't as aware about the neuroscience. If you could like explain, that discipline and then how you were able to leverage that in order to see a path forward.
Right. Well, for me, my journey into neuroscience, it actually started about 8 years ago, right? And basically, again, in that grind and nothing getting better. Um, I didn't know what I was doing back then, but had gotten to the point where I was ready to say not only bye bye to you to the USA, but bye bye to the whole daggone world. I had it. Okay, like that. I had it, and I set a date. And I always say what you're looking for is looking for you, right? Um, in that week time that I gave myself, just kind of preparing, I stumbled upon something, and it had to do with neuroscience and thinking a different way, and actually practicing gratitude, right? And I started doing that, just simply writing things down in a journal every day. It took me about 5 minutes to do it. Well, by long story short, by the end of that 5 days, the next day was my event that I set for myself. And I felt just a little bit better. And I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. But I said, nobody knows about this event, right? And I'm a calendar girl. So when I put it in my calendar, it means I'm going to do it, right? Um, but I said, you know what? Let me give myself some leeway and try this again. And I did it again. That next week, I felt better. Long story short, by the end of the month, I wanted to live and nobody could tell me different. Now, what just happened? So that led me to really start finding out about what is it that just happened to me, because it was almost as though I reprogrammed myself. What happened?
Yeah,
What's the
you
science?
did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. So I said, what's the science behind this?
Mhm.
Because no one had ever, I grew up in the church and all that, and we didn't do anything like that, right?
Mhm.
Um, but anyway, became an elite neuro encoding specialist. And all that means is now I really do know and understand how to reprogram your mind, right? So
Mhm.
that you can live the life that you really want to live. And for you to be aware that you are in a grind, and to be aware of this is not what I really, really want, and how to change it, how to figure out what it is you want and to change it. So that's the science behind it. And that started that journey. And so so here we are, and I do it for myself and for others, of course, too. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
continual. Life has ups and downs all the
Yeah.
time, but it's just being aware of where you are, right?
Mhm.
And also practicing certain things so that you can step forward into the direction that you really want to go in life. So that's
Yeah,
what I
because
do for
oh,
myself.
yeah, that's and you have to make your test be your testimony. And we're so glad that you're here and appreciate you being so transparent, because it is, life happens. And I've shared on this platform, I've had dark days. Many people have had dark days. Sometimes it's very difficult to see a path forward.
Right.
And in doing so, they hear terms like cognitive behavioral therapy and things like that, or just think it's woo-woo.
Right.
But it's important that these conversations take place, because it's illustrating that there is a science behind this, that you can reprogram your brain, create different neural pathways that allow you to have a path forward. And, obviously, like, you went deep into it, became a clinician, etc. But that is why, you as the people that are watching don't have to go down the rabbit hole and go all the way to be a clinician. You could work with someone like Val, who is, educated in it, understands it. And whether it's your goal to move abroad, to get out of a bad relationship, a job, whatever the case is, this is helpful. And for so many people, there's a desire to make a change, lose weight, get in a relationship, leave the country, or whatever. But there's almost like a
Right.
gap between what you want for yourself or you think you can see for yourself and actually doing the thing.
Exactly. And, people, they think that we battle with ourselves, right? It's funny that we battle with ourselves on things and we think that it's us, that we're not good enough, but it really is your mind wants to keep you where you are. And it's going to convince you that you should stay there. Okay. Now, I went through this even after I made the decision to come to Africa, but I was aware of what was going on. So my mind, like for instance, with all the things going on in the news, I would find myself trying not to watch the news, but then it was so much awe and shock going on, and it was happening so fast that which is on purpose. Okay, they're doing this on purpose so that you can be in awe and shock like a deer in headlights. Okay, and it's designed to make you stop.
Yeah.
Okay, and not to go forward. So I even found myself, my mind is convincing me to stay right here. But in my heart, so I had to learn what the distinction was. In my heart, in my Noah, no, I'm supposed to live life. I'm supposed to do a lot of other things. I don't need to go through what they want me to go through and be a victim and be subjugated to this. So I had to really learn to listen to what it is that I wanted and then make my steps towards that. Okay. And so it was something. So I can empathize with everyone out there if you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like you can't make it through. It's the battle of that mind and your what I call your heart or your subconscious mind, which is more powerful than your conscious mind, which is always trying to figure stuff out. Okay. So we actually have two different minds. Okay. So yeah, it's a fight, it's a struggle, but you got to learn which one you're going to listen to, because the subconscious mind or that heart is way 10,000 times more powerful than that conscious. This conscious mind will slow us down. It'll try to figure things out all the time, and you're stuck in trying to figure it out and trying to, okay. But what you should do is, okay, this is what I want, not how am I going to get it? This is what I want. So when you have a decision, should I do A? Should I do B? If B is going to take you closer to what it is you want, you need to go in the direction of B. So each and every decision that you make, is it taking you towards what it is you really want, your subconscious mind telling you to do? Or is it taking you towards maybe fear or you trying to figure stuff out? Because you're going to get a download. The universe is going to give you a download. It's going to be instant. You're not even going to be doing anything regarding, you may be washing the dishes somewhere and then you'll get a download. Hey, I got an idea of how I can get that thing so that, yeah, I can go to that country. You see what I'm saying? So kind of have to release yourself from it and just take it one step, making a decision towards what it is that you want to do.
Yeah, you have to go in the direction of your dreams, and you're so spot on. Like, the media is designed, especially in this day and age, with all these notifications, breaking news alerts, all the things to inundate your psyche. You're listening to a device, oh, breaking news, and we've just become conditioned. And then it elicits a reaction, oftentimes in this day and age, fear. And you get an
Yes.
emotional flood. You get emotional flooding where all of the senses are triggered. It's almost like you have, a tooth and then the nerve is exposed. And so you can feel like
Mhm.
everything, and it prevents you from thinking. It keeps you stuck in survival mode, because if they can keep you in survival mode, you can't think of walking out the door, getting
You
on a
can't.
plane, leaving the country, quitting that job, trusting and stepping out on faith. All of us, if we're watching this, we woke up today, you survived 100% of your best days and 100% of your worst days, right? So you have a great success track record. And so all you have to do is go in the direction of your dreams, and
Yes.
the path will align. It won't happen overnight, but the more you do it, is you're signaling to yourself, you're signaling to the universe that this is actually what I want to do.
Yes. And a lot of people may think this is woo woo, but it's not. It is called quantum physics, which is a science. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is a science. So it's not anything that they're going to teach you in school, but it's actually a science, quantum physics. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you want wants you as well. And
Yes.
you do need to point yourself into that direction. You even Martin Luther King Jr. said, you don't have to know the whole pathway. You just go towards the light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's it.
And so the pathway, like when you made that decision, you were like, okay, I'm leaving. And then the continent came in. And then, at first it was Kigali, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wait.
Right.
So like, what, had you been to Rwanda before?
Never been to Africa before.
Wow.
Never been. Okay, I came by myself. So all you single ladies, I just brought my cat with me. Okay.
Wow.
I never been. Okay, I've vacationed in Mexico,
Mhm.
Jamaica, Bahamas, Canada, right? Just vacationing, but never anywhere any extended amount of time. And I just, like I said, I went in, I said, what is it that you really want? Because those places for me, it just
Mhm.
wasn't resonating with me. But when I got the download, it was really just a download. Africa, the continent of Africa. I'm like, what? Well, I want
Yeah.
to be around my people. Like, I really
Mhm.
want to, I need to see people who are in leadership, who are in authority that look like me and who are really like holding it down, like really
Mhm.
doing, like really care about their people. I really need
Mhm.
to see that right now because I'm not getting that. I'm getting the opposite over here. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, and so that was one of the things for me. I needed to be someplace that was beautiful because I needed to heal. I'm aware that I
Yeah.
needed to heal upon all of the gaslighting and things that I went through, right? I needed to heal.
Mhm.
I'm concerned about my friends, okay? I just need to heal from that. I need to
Yeah.
heal so that I can be strong. So I need to be somewhere I can relax, where the people are nice. I just started doing my research. Um, People don't bother you. I needed to be somewhere where the crime was low, rate was
Mhm.
very, very low to almost non-existent, which
Mhm.
I'm like, for really? But no, I go out 10 o'clock at night. 10 last night I was out at 10:30. Around the corner, I went to the store, a little neighborhood store, and
Mm.
did some grocery shopping. And everybody was nice. The person that owned the store, she was a woman. So you'll find here in
Nice.
Rwanda, 64% of those who are in government are women that look like me.
Mm,
I
that's
love that. And
amazing.
business owners and all of that. So when you go to a store, you go here, you'll see a woman business owner looks like me, you know.
Mm-hmm,
I like that. Okay. I need
mm-hmm,
that kind of nurturing right now.
mm-hmm,
Okay. And so, yeah, it's just beautiful. So I'm out walking the streets. I never walk in the streets at night, but having a great time by myself, not afraid of anything. Nobody
mm-hmm,
came up to me and looked at me side eyed. I never felt like I was in danger whatsoever.
mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it is. I'm actually treated like a queen here, like a human
Wow.
being.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't have
Yes.
to prove that I'm a human being.
Mm-hmm.
They just, oh, you're a human. Okay, come on in. Yes, we welcome you. Welcome you. Thank you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to ramble on, but I had such a wonderful experience, even getting my hair done and all today. Beautiful.
Wow. Tell me
I have
about it.
four, listen, I have four men working on me at the same time.
What?
It was great. Being pampered,
Wait. Look,
being
searches
pampered.
Google flights for.
I, I'm telling you, Kigali is like a hidden gem. I'm telling you.
Wow.
I mean, they're massaging my hands after he did
Oh
my
my
nails, and
gosh.
he's washing and giving me a nice massage, even a neck
Ooh.
massage, kind of crack my neck a little bit. Just going that little extra mile that
Yeah.
you don't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. I'm telling you. Hattie said Black women deserve it all. It's been a very long journey. You got that right.
Yes, it,
Just
yes,
said
it
it's a
has.
beautiful thing. Amen. And LH said,
Yes,
this is true. The downloads are real. The trick is to be obedient once you get them and put aside self-doubt.
that
Yeah.
is right. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so it sounds like that's what you did because, you got the download, you did your research, you booked the flight, you got there, you've been welcomed.
Yes.
So some of the things that many of us can unfortunately identify with in the States is, you know, food scarcity, food deserts, like you said, lack of representation in all levels of government, business
Mhm.
owners, right? So many of us, I was actually having this conversation with my mom earlier today, and she was talking about, the produce store that she has to go to in Florida. And, it's a red state. So,
Mm. Yeah.
you know what you're dealing with. And she's like, I know these people are the MAGA nuts, but this is the only produce place.
Right. And
Right.
that's
And
sad.
so many of us want to vote with our dollars, right? And choose to do elsewhere. But the reality of it is, depending on where you live in the country, and like my 84-year-old mother's not going to drive an hour to the next place.
Right.
Some of us, we have no other choice. And so for you were talking about the place down the street and being able to walk free. Like, step me through a day in your life.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Mm.
It's like it's a real dream come true.
Wow.
Um, you know, I'm 57. I know I don't look it, but I'm 57. So
Ooh,
when I
holding
grew
it
up,
down.
when I grew up in the United States as a child, I remember walking to the corner store. I was maybe 4 or 5 years old, right? Going to, my grandma told me to go pick something up, and you going to the corner store and coming back and just skipping and doing that kind of
Mhm.
thing, right? Well, slowly that has eroded from us. All of those mom and
Yeah.
pop stores have
Mhm.
been bought up by conglomerates. You can't even find
Yeah.
them anymore, right? If you grew up in the country too, like I did a portion of my life, we grew
Mhm.
our own crops and things, and the man down the street had a pig, and we go get that, or a cow or something like that. In other words, community,
Mhm.
right? Which is lost now,
Yeah.
and that's by design. Well, guess what? I found it here. It's
Wow.
not just in this neighborhood, but it's on every single block.
Hmm.
Like there are fresh markets. There are stores that I can go into, nice stores to go to. My money is supporting local business. But
Hmm.
in the United States, what was the statistic? Our dollar only stays in the Black community 30 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it immediately goes out.
Hmm.
Well, that's the opposite here.
Wow.
Okay. So that means something to me. Whether I'm
Hmm.
up in the village, up in the mountains, okay, I'm supporting Black dollars, right?
Yeah.
Or whether I'm in the city, in the thick of things where there's a lot of hustle and bustle,
Hmm.
same thing. There's no big, huge conglomerates
Yeah.
here. Okay. So I love that. I
Hmm.
absolutely love it. And I haven't missed a beat, guys.
Wow.
Uh, I I did away. This is me personally. No Amazon. Okay, I stopped
Hmm.
doing Amazon even back in the United States when this DEI stuff started. Right, I
Hmm.
started really paying attention to where my money was going,
Yeah.
and it was hard because
Hmm.
there are just certain necessities and things that we need, and we can't help it. Right, but I was like, no, I'm gonna do without that. Right. I'm
Hmm.
gonna find another way to get it done. Well, now that I've been here, I haven't needed it.
Yeah.
Everything that I need is here, guys. And it's just a beautiful thing. I hope that answered your question. But
Yeah.
it's just it's a sense of community.
Mm.
I see the kids playing in the streets, and we don't see that. Where do we
No,
see
not in the
kids?
States.
We see
I
kids.
see it all the time here in Portugal. Kids on the scooters, little kids were playing outside when
Yes,
I was walking the dog. You always, and they're not in their devices. I never, I,
right.
I rarely see maybe like the older kids on the subway, but
Hmm.
the kids are playing with grandparents, playing with each other. You don't have these people that are invisible in society the
Right.
way a lot of people are visibly invisible in the States. And it's great to hear like you can experience that because it gives you a renewed, in my opinion, a renewed sense of humanity.
Yes. Yes. There's dignity here. I want to say that.
Mm, yeah.
It doesn't matter how much money that you have.
Hmm.
Now, y'all, you can stay in the most fabulous places here, or you can stay in very moderate. I say I'm moderate right now, right? And
Hmm.
but still very nice. But everybody has dignity.
Yeah.
You understand?
Hmm.
Everything is clean here. The streets are clean. Even the
Hmm.
side streets, behind the buildings, everything is clean because dignity and a certain standard is taught here. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the money that you have or don't have. Okay.
Hmm.
I absolutely love that. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, there's technology here. You were talking about the kids are on the phones. Yeah, they're out playing, but it doesn't mean there is technology here. Everything. I pay my hairdresser on the phone, right? Everything. You pay
Hmm.
bills on the phone. You pay your electricity on the phone. You go to the grocery store, you pay everything on the phone
Hmm.
here. And so it's easy. So technology is here, like
Wow.
state of the art, okay? Here. So it's here, but there are values, there's dignity, there's certain standards. And I
Mm.
just love seeing that, especially people that look like me. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So, so I love
Wow.
it.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
wonderful.
So I'm curious, like, because Rwanda wasn't something you had thought about before, right? Sorry, dog is doing her thing.
It's okay.
um, how did you find your apartment? Like, how did you find where you're living, your neighborhood, and all of that?
Okay. So when before I got here, I started making connections. I would see people online that were here, Black
Mhm.
expats that were here. And I did, started kind of making connections, which at first I was just watching, consuming. I said, wait a minute. If you're going to do this, you got to take action. So you're going to need to reach out to someone. Okay. And so I remember making that reach out, right? And it was on WhatsApp. And so he answered me on WhatsApp, right? And he had like a resort, right? He had built this huge resort from Tampa. He's from Tampa, Florida, and been here for 5 years and just built a really nice resort and everything. So I said, well, maybe I could just stay there at least maybe the first month, and then I can find a place once I'm there. So, and that's what I did. I stayed there, and then I started looking. I was like, oh, maybe I could stay, but it was up in the hills, it was up in the village. So it was another layer just to get down and to kind of be within the city. And I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, so I liked a little bit of a city. I lived in uptown Charlotte, so I'm used to that, right? So for me, I know I needed to be closer. So I just started meeting people, like going to different events and things like that. There's also a WhatsApp group. In fact, it's funny because one of the people that I met, another gentleman, Marlon, I would see him on YouTube. So YouTube is dynamic. Okay. You can do everything on YouTube. And I had a speaking engagement actually in Kenya. Okay. That was another sign. Well, shoot, I'll go ahead and take this speaking engagement because I'm already planning on being in Africa anyway and being in Rwanda. So I said, okay, that's another sign, right? What you want wants you.
Yes.
And so while I was in the airport in Kenya, in Diani Beach, a little small airport, here walks in Marlon, who has been in Rwanda for the last 5 years, okay, who also is an expat, right? He also owns his own resort and a lot of other things, very, very creative type person, right? And so he walks in and I said, Marlon?
Wow.
And he goes, looking at me like, yeah. But he's thinking, okay, I don't know who this girl is, right?
Wow.
Is this how it's gonna go down? What did I do? So I told him who I am, and I'm, moving to Rwanda, and I had a speaking engagement, and so we exchanged information. So he has a huge WhatsApp group with a lot of expats in Rwanda in it.
Wow.
Always putting in the things to do, the properties, apartments, all kinds of things.
Oh my gosh. Right? What a great resource.
Yes. So it's beautiful, the community that's here, right? And so anyway, long story short, he listed this apartment and I reached out to the person that he said get in touch with. Long story short, I came and visited. I loved it. It was better than what I had, bigger than what I had, right? In the smack dab in town, so easier for me to get around. Only paying like $50 more than what I was paying way up there. So really I ended up saving a lot of money because I paid $400 for my rent here, guys.
What?
And this apartment, this larger
book's ticket to Rwanda.
Right. It's $400 USD. Fully furnished.
What?
Everything included. Except for my utilities, my electricity, which electricity is prepaid here. You will never guess what I pay for electricity. Now, I don't know what y'all pay in Portugal.
I pay probably about between 40 to 70, depending on my usage.
Well, when I was in the United States, I paid anywhere, 50 was a great month, but normally about $100 average, okay?
Wow.
Per month. Here, y'all not gonna believe me, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. $8.64 is what I paid last month for all of my electricity. I'm not kidding. I'm telling the truth.
Wow.
Look,
I hope y'all are taking notes that you are appreciative of this download that Miss Val has been sharing here today.
Let me tell you what I paid today for my hair. There's no shame in my game. My hair, which they did interlocking. I don't know if you've got any lock sisters out here, but they can either twist it or interlocking. Interlocking is usually better. They interlocked it, and I thought they were going to twist it, but interlocking is better. Hair, lashes, makeup artist, professional makeup artist, nails done, all for USD $31. I'm not kidding. I know you don't believe me, but this is true. Okay. Yes.
Wait, what?
I'm telling you the truth. It's on my mama and my daddy, okay?
Wow.
Yes, everything. And I had a great time. They
amazing.
Loved it. They were into it. And this was the 4 guys working on me in the salon. 4. And this includes tip. This includes tip.
No. That is wild. Okay. And that's the thing. Like, I've always been like, people think.
Shop.
Oh, go ahead. You were saying about the coffee shop?
No, I used to go to the coffee shop. Yeah, so my thing was in Charlotte, I had a coffee shop that I went to every day because I just flip my laptop up. I get to work. I always support wherever I go, whatever coffee shop I go to. So I would get the coffee and I'd pay like $5.04. That included tax for my coffee, right?
Wow.
Well, here I can pay about $6 or $7, get a whole meal and the coffee for $7, and it's good.
Yeah. I believe it. I'm
telling y'all better come
on. Yeah. So that's a nice segue. Like, what, because I remember when you said earlier in the conversation, you were like, you know, Trump had gotten elected, and then you were like, okay, I'm out. And Africa popped into your consciousness. So what do you think? But you were like, oh, wait, what? Where did that come from? What do you think holds people back from going to the continent? Or what may have held you back at one point from going to the continent?
Well, we don't know anything about the continent. We're scared of what was in my mind was little babies with bloated stomachs and flies. That's what I knew Africa was. I was astonished.
Wow.
When I looked up and saw in Nairobi, Kenya, all the buildings, all the infrastructure, better than what I had, right?
In North Carolina. In North Carolina, USA.
And even low crime, even in Kenya too. Low crime. Kids out playing. They even have malls where kids can play in the mall, and while you go shopping, and you don't even have to worry about anything, right? Wow. That was Kenya. But then when I looked at Rwanda's got the nice big buildings too, infrastructure, everything. Internet. I said I definitely need internet wherever I am. I gotta have good internet. Okay. Great internet. Everything. I mean, nice views everywhere, because we're the land of 1,000 rolling hills. So every view, you go to a restaurant, you're looking, in the lanai or whatever, and you've got a great view. Whether you're inside or outside, you've got a great view wherever you go. Where you live, you've got a great view. It's just the way that everything is built here. It almost looks like, I've never been to Switzerland, but I've seen pictures. Like if you look outside my window, you'll see all these houses and you see these buildings being built, but there's still greenery and everything everywhere. It reminds me, my God, this is like Switzerland, right? Like it doesn't seem like you're in Africa, okay? But you are. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Okay. You are in Africa. $1 million views everywhere.
Wow.
It's beautiful here.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
people are so nice. They treat you so well.
Mm-hmm.
If I may have a
Mm-hmm.
little story. So when I first got here, I went to this little, I like coffee shop. So I had to go to a little coffee shop. They have like coffee shops, restaurants here, combinations, right? So I sat down, I ordered my food. Food was great. Okay. Ready, time for me to pay my bill. I'm waiting on the waitress to come. And here comes the waitress. And she
Mm-hmm.
has a big like platter with her with this picture. And I'm like, is that a little thing of soap? And she just takes my hand and she puts the soap and she does this, she starts rubbing my hands. I'm at a restaurant. She has
Wow.
she has the picture. She pours it and rinses over, and that water was so nice and warm. It felt so good. And then she gave me a little towel to blot my. This is a coffee shop. This is a
Wow.
coffee shop. This is not some upscale, humongous restaurants, which we have plenty of those too. And this is
Wow.
customary. She washed my
Oh my
hands after I ate.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I love that. I love that. It just warms my heart. Like we're supposed to be cared for, right?
Exactly.
We're supposed to look after one another.
Yes.
We have practices, ancestral practices. Our through lines have been, altered, some cases severed, but we can reestablish those through lines and reconnect with who we
Yes.
are as
Yes.
people. And it sounds like that is, oh my gosh, I'm like I said, I'm searching the Google's
I know
flights.
you want to run. I know you want to run through the. I know you want to run through the YouTube and be here. That's how I was. I watched so many
Wow.
videos on Kigali, on Rwanda, that it got to a point where I wanted to run through the TV and all of that and get to Rwanda. That's when
Hmm.
I knew I had to be here. That's
Hmm.
in their
Yeah.
infrastructure. Right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely. Yeah. And
beautiful.
when you look at the U.S., what I see and what so many is, a declining empire, and also the lack of investment in infrastructure over decades.
Yes,
And meanwhile, the companies are getting $4 trillion valuations. We see Nvidia is almost at $4 trillion valuation. Microsoft is supposed to be hitting that number at some point over the summer. CEOs with these inflated, multi-million dollar paydays, golden parachutes, all the things. But meanwhile, the average American person that is working at 9 to 5, or 9 to 5 and 5 to 9 in order to make ends meet, can barely make ends meet. And we have, things like natural disasters that are happening, pulling back of resources, the little bit that has existed in the United States, they're just taking an eraser and just, wiping it off the face. But then you
yeah,
go to other parts of the world, you go to parts of the continent, you go parts of Asia and, Europe, and you're seeing, wait a minute, new bridges,
right,
right? Metros, like high speed internet. And you're like, wait a second, what is
right.
going on?
It gets to the point. Well, the Red Note app. Okay, I
Mm.
started looking at that Red Note app, which is basically China,
Mhm.
just to relax. Okay,
Wow.
just to relax. But in that, I said, wait a minute, there are no homeless people in China, right?
Mhm.
Look at their infrastructure. I mean, they have a great infrastructure. This is making wow. And I started looking at other countries. Why are all these countries making the United States look like a third world country?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, wake up. Like, it's not what the propaganda that we have been given all these times. And then they program this into our minds that America is the greatest country in the world. America is the greatest country in the world. Well, I want you to look around. Just get your YouTube out and look up any other countries.
Yeah.
Look up some of the countries that we're talking about and
Mhm.
see, yet let your own eyes see. Because this is what I
Mhm.
had to do. Let
Yeah.
my own eyes see what's really going on
Yeah.
instead of listening to what has been programmed to me.
Mhm.
And once I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. I kind
Mhm.
of got upset because I done wasted 50 some years of my life in this third world USA country. Okay. All
Mhm.
right.
I feel the same way. I just turned 51 and I was just like, I knew it. I knew it. Right. It was like
Right.
confirmation. But I also think, like, no matter when your awakening occurs and when you actually hear the freedom bell ringing, it's like it makes it that much sweeter. It makes your gratitude that much greater, even
Mm-hmm.
though, we can't change the past. I think, for myself, I have a deep gratitude every day for being here. I like
Yes.
wake up and I'm like, I love my life. I see the
Yes.
flowers. I see the kids. I get on planes. I've gone to 25, 26 countries now at this point. And it's like, I love going to different cultures and, checking, what was already instilled in me? What do I know about this? What was miscommunicated? What was just downright
Mm-hmm.
lies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Challenges your beliefs. And that's the beauty of travel. That's the beauty of having these conversations and doing what we're doing in this day and age, because not only do we get to lead these bigger lives than we've ever been able to imagine, couldn't even imagine for ourselves, but
Mm-hmm.
we get to share in real time with other people that look like us, like,
Yeah.
hey, look,
Yes. I remember
come with us.
yeah, I remember sitting back in the United States watching you. And that
Wow.
gave that gave me courage.
Mm,
If she's
wow.
doing it,
Yeah.
if Stephanie Perry's doing it,
Yep. Yep.
why can't come on, man?
Yeah.
I can do this. I can do this.
Mhm.
So when you see someone else, it gives you strength,
Yes.
right? It gives
Yes.
so you gave me strength. Thank you. You gave me strength
Wow. Wow.
to I can do this.
Mm.
Let me leave what my mind is telling me. But what
Mhm.
is my heart, my subconscious? What is it it's telling me to go fly, right?
Yes.
And look, Krishan did it. And come on, man, she's thriving, she's doing good, she's living her life. Why can't
Mhm.
you live your life?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, if it's a scary thing because it's something different. It's
Yeah.
something I'd never done before. So it's a fight. I mean, up until the very time it was for me to get on the plane,
Wow.
I could have just said no,
Yeah.
but I didn't. I said,
Mhm.
no, I'm gonna do this, right?
Mhm.
And I'm so glad that I did, right? I'm so
Yes.
glad that I did. And
Yes.
it's just a beautiful thing. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I
And
want it for
it's beautiful.
everyone.
Exactly. And it can be, and I think that's the thing. It's like you were saying, there was a time when you were watching me and I was watching Stephanie and Rashida and, all of
Yeah.
this. And it's like that's why representation matters so much. That's why this podcast, this platform, that created is, and many of us have our respective platforms, is so important, because you don't know the light that you are igniting in somebody else. You're lighting someone else's candle, right? Their
Mhm.
candle might not be lit, their candle might be going dim, right? But
Right.
you're just adding that extra light, right? That can help them see the path forward. And I just think it's so remarkable that, like, the election was in November and we're having this conversation in July of 2025, and you are like, I am having this conversation with you from Rwanda.
Yes, I know. It's a dream. Yes, it's
You know,
beautiful.
because you didn't decide like, okay, I'm gonna kick the can maybe in a year, maybe 5 years,
No,
right? You heard the
because
message. You
if
said Rwanda, but I gotta do this first. I gotta do that, and all these other things. Like you made it
I will
happen.
not be subjugated
Mm,
to this gaslighting, to what I am seeing. It infuriates me. I'm the type of person, I do not like injustice,
mm-hmm.
right? But I'm not gonna have it for my life. I looked at my ancestors who fought.
Yes.
My mama fought. My daddy
Yes.
fought. My great
Yes.
grandparents fought.
Wow. Yes.
Okay, Trayvon
Mhm.
Martin.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, George Floyd.
Yes. Yes.
How many
Mhm.
how many more deaths? How many? Why are we fighting? What are we fighting for? Are we fighting to say we are humans? Can't you see I'm a human being?
Yeah. Yeah.
I already have certain rights just because I'm a human being.
Mhm.
Why do I have to fight for it?
Yep.
Why? And nothing's changing.
Mhm.
It's going
Mhm.
backwards.
You
Wait,
got
wait,
that
wait,
right.
wait, 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 wait. The whole world is not just the United States is mine, my family's land and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But daggone it, the whole world is ours. Come on, the
Yes.
whole world is yours.
Mhm.
How about that?
Yep.
So
Yep.
why do you feel like you got to stay in one place and fight? Fighting to the death, and for what?
Mhm.
You can always listen, go somewhere else, have yourself a good time. If you want to come back to the US, you can always come back.
Mhm. Mhm.
But if you get over there and you feel like I don't want to come back, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. But I'm just saying, I my life at this age, no, I have certain standards.
Mhm.
So I'm looking to see. And my friends, they didn't they okay, yeah, you okay. I know you keep saying you gonna leave. No, I'm leaving. One of them said, girl, you ain't leaving, you ain't going nowhere. And when
Wow.
you said that, I said, I kind of chuckled on the inside. Because when somebody tells me that I ain't gonna do something after I said I'm gonna do it, okay, we'll
Watch
see.
me.
Look up,
Challenge
and I'm gone. Hey,
accepted.
I'm coming in from Rwanda right now. How you doing?
And then those are the same people, right? That'll be like, so how'd you do that again?
Exactly. And that's okay. It's okay. You know, it's okay. But
Yeah,
I
it's
love
fine, but it's just like, and I don't know why certain people that's their natural default, right? But
Mhm.
it's just like, I'm not gonna gatekeep, you wanna know how to do it? Look, I've been at this for 5 years. I'll tell you, I'll share, right?
Yeah. I want
We've got the
everybody to have
resources.
this. I want
Yes.
I'm the women, men too, but the women, my thing is the women. The
Mm,
women who are down and out, who feel like they can't make it, who feel like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I see what's going on. I'm fearful for my children. Da da
mm,
da 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 da. I don't like this job that I'm on, but I gotta be on this job because I gotta pay the
mm,
bills. Okay. You may be making some great money, but daggone if 95% to 99% of your income is gone because of your living expenses and things like that, because of the United
taxes.
States.
Yep.
Okay. Something that would have cost me $300 and $400, I paid $31 for.
Facts.
Come
Facts.
on.
Yeah.
$8
Yeah.
for electricity while I'm used to
Mm-hmm.
paying 100.
Yep.
That's your money. You're spending too much and you're slaving too much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're exhausted and you
Yes.
can't even think straight.
Yeah.
All I'm asking you to do is get silent just a little bit and have guts enough to say, this is what I want. I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but this is what I want. The how does
Mm-hmm.
not matter.
Yeah.
It's the what.
Yeah.
Once you got the what, the rest of it can come.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah. And it's yeah, peace is a bare minimum. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, the bare minimum,
Right.
and abundance, Abundance is our birthright. Like
That's
Jess said,
right.
fighting for crumbs makes no sense.
That one, that part.
Tired of
Tired of
fighting.
fighting.
Yep.
You gonna fight just to the death? How many people y'all know y'all had grandparents, great
Mm-hmm.
grandparents that just work until they died and they still didn't have anything? It's
Mm-hmm.
not because they were worthless human beings. It's the
Mm-hmm.
system designed against them. Let's just be
Yep.
clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Yep.
because you're inadequate. You're more than adequate,
Mm-hmm.
but you're working in a system that's designed to be against you.
Yeah. Yeah. Ice
And
Coco
that's my
had
opinion.
no. Look, it's the truth. Ice Coco asked, "What would you say is a good monthly budget for a single woman to live comfortably there?"
Here in Rwanda,
Mm-hmm.
well, they say that I guess your rent is going to be your largest outlay.
Okay.
Okay. So your rent can go anywhere from I've seen really decent, nice places, 350
Oh
on
wow.
up. Yeah, $350. Like I pay 400 where I am now, and it's great neighborhood. I
Mm-hmm.
got a government. The sector is right here behind me. It's safe. It's not noisy. It's quiet. So and
Nice.
that's furnished and everything. So that's 400, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's plenty of places like this, but you could go on up to $2,000 a month and live like a daggone, live real nice. Okay, it's just
Mm-hmm.
whatever your budget is or whatever your lifestyle is. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be your most expensive thing is going to be your rent. I've already touched on your electricity and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hair, going out to eat, you can kind of get an
Mm-hmm.
idea of that. So yeah, you
Yeah.
can set
Wow.
yourself accordingly. And I don't know if you got kids or whatever, but shoot, I say you could do 1,000 easy and have a good time and still have a whole lot left over. It just depends on how you using your money and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can be a tightwad. Okay, I really can be kind of a tightwad about stuff. I don't have to, I think that I always tell people this though. I don't care what your lifestyle was in the United States. As soon as your toes hit Kigali, your lifestyle is going to increase. It is
Mm.
going to increase. You're going
Mm-hmm.
to find a very, very nice place to stay that is very, very safe because all of
Mm-hmm.
Kigali is safe. I mean, that crime is so low. It's so low. Okay. Um, People are going to treat you nicely, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be good. There's always things to do. I mean, there's always activities. I went to a hip hop concert,
Oh,
hip
nice.
hop festival last weekend. Had the time of my life. I'm probably the oldest person there, but honey, I was hanging. I was hanging with them, okay? And I mean, it was just fun.
Wow.
And not expensive at all, and no rowdiness, no nothing, just nice. But being
Yeah.
around a young generation, but no
Mm-hmm.
rowdiness, no cussing, no fear of no guns or anybody being shot up. There's none of
Ooh,
that.
the
Okay,
guns,
there's
man. The guns in the
absolutely
States is
none.
ridiculous.
Right. There's none of that. So you can get out, you can meet people. I make friends everywhere I go.
Mhm.
But it's just you can live a wonderful life
Oh my
here.
goodness.
Mhm.
Yeah. Look. It says, I love
Nice.
that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Val, what would you say to people that are holding on to comfort in the US? Like somebody's watching this conversation now, they've heard all the things that you've shared, um, but that part of their brain is still clinging to safety, still
Right.
questioning whether or not this is really real.
It is definitely real. And as long as you understand your mind is now playing tricks on you. It doesn't matter where you are in life, whether you're struggling, whether you're comfortable. Your mind is going to keep you where you're at because it's all it knows is trying to keep you safe, right? It's trying to keep you safe. So whether you're struggling, whether you're comfortable, doesn't matter. It's going to try to keep you right where you are. So just understand that. But if you're watching this, you want more. You automatically want more. Your inner self is already telling you you want to move or be abroad, okay, even if it's just for a sabbatical or whatever. Just the very nature of you listening to this right now, just own up to it. That is your subconscious mind, which is way more powerful than your conscious, which is always trying to figure stuff out, okay? It is already leading you to where you should go.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to trust it. Start trusting yourself. How many times have you made great decisions in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is not the first great decision. So why don't you write down? I'm a journaler, right? I keep journals. Why don't you start writing down on a piece of paper all of the great decisions that you made in your life?
Mm-hmm.
All your wins that you've made in your life. We're going into some new neuroscience right now, right? Understand what you write, you invite. You're inviting it into your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is going to stick. Write down. Take 20 minutes. Go in the bathroom and just get a pen and paper. Write down all your wins from the time you were born to right now. Whether you can eat, somebody taught you to eat and you got it. Okay. Somebody taught you to walk and you got it. Put it down in there. Okay. But this is you building yourself up and you starting to learn to trust yourself because you're watching this for a reason and you're trying to figure it out. But that is your conscious mind is going to try to take your level, your frequency level down a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. But we need you to be high. Okay. So anyway, just start writing things down, your wins, and this is going to teach you to trust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to keep watching shows like this because you're seeing women that are doing it
Mm-hmm.
and that are happy. Okay. And so let that continue to feed you. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Ask your questions, as your inner self. Where is it that I want to go?
Yeah.
Right. Start investigating those places. Look
Mm-hmm.
online. Look on YouTube and see what it is and does it resonate with you here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you'll get your download and you'll understand and you'll go forward. But just understand that time does not stand still.
Mm-hmm.
You may think I'm figuring it out, I'm figuring it out, I'm figuring it out, and you're not taking any action. You're not going forward. But guess what? That means you're going backwards because time is going forward.
Absolutely. Because, man, it's been almost 2 years. I'm coming up on 2 years here. And it feels like it was only 2 months. because, but when I was in the States, time felt like it was moving so slow because I had
Right.
this goal that I wanted, and it felt like I was doing time for a crime I didn't commit.
Right.
now, now
Right.
I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing all these wonderful things, these big things, and even the small things feel big because there's such deep gratitude. But you're right, it's like in a blink of an eye, I'm like, how did 2 years go by that quick?
Yeah.
Right. And so, for the people that are, the overthinkers, I'm a reforming
Right.
overthinker.
I'm here.
um yeah, many of us can relate, right?
Yeah.
And so we've all been there. We can all share our stories of how we had to overcome, different things, different obstacles, either, physical obstacles, other things, or even our own
Mhm.
psyche, right?
Yes.
And in a society that not only subjugates you, but also has you questioning what is real. It keeps you from listening to your inner voice, right? The part of you that's spirit led, right? And
Mhm.
so, you learn not to trust your instinct. You learn not to trust people that look like you. Some of that
Right.
is, internalized anti-blackness. Oh no, I can't.
Yes.
This can't be real. This got to be a scam. This here, and so you have
Hmm.
to question. Okay, where does that come from? Why do I think that the continent would be less developed? Why do I think that, it's okay to give my money to Target when they're no longer committed to what they said, right? Like,
Right.
why am I continuing to really fund the same people who are actively, not trying, who are actively oppressing you?
Oppressing you.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's
yeah.
so true. That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that was another reason for me being here. I didn't want that. I wanted my money to go towards, I wanted to choose what I wanted my money to go towards
Mm,
and support what I felt was good.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah.
Yeah.
Make that decision, go
Mm-hmm.
for it. Don't I say don't try to wait for everything to be perfect because it's not going to be perfect.
No,
Okay.
no.
It's not going to be perfect. So
You just got to get good enough, right? Good enough to
exactly.
go.
Exactly.
Just wants to know, is the residency process straightforward?
Yeah, in for Rwanda, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You're gonna start out and by getting your visa. Of course, you get your visa, you get automatic 30. Now I went and got a 90-day visa because I got the East African one, right? So I can go
Ah,
in
okay.
and out all over, right? But then
Nice.
after you're here for 182 days, guess what? You can become a resident.
Wow.
So, and especially if you have your own business, that's a
Mm-hmm.
caveat too, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
can get that business visa too and work on that business, get that business going. And the business visa is anywhere from 2 years to 10 years, right? But then
Wow.
if you want to go ahead and get residency after you've been here for 182 days, guess what?
Mm.
You can.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that is straightforward.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Like, because Portugal here, we've been going through some challenges as of late, but thankfully, because of the bureaucracy, it is what it is. It's going to stay the way it is for a while.
Yeah. It's
Locating goals,
very
you said
welcoming here. It's very, very welcoming here.
that is
They're
amazing.
very pro. Definitely, if you have your own business or you can establish a
Hmm.
business here and
Hmm.
have 100%. You own the business 100%. So
Ooh,
yeah,
that is awesome.
whether you're a resident or not.
Hmm.
So it's very, very, and there's no cost to establish your business here
Hmm.
too. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah, so that's a big,
Hmm.
you know, and there's a lot of opportunity here too. So the sky is
Hmm.
really the limit.
And I think I think back to some of my guests on the podcast, and I remember my conversation with Paul Carrick Brunson, and he lives in the UK now with his family, and we were talking about like how I know of him in the States and some of the work he had done, but his career is flourishing now in the UK. And I asked him like, what do you think the difference is? And he was just like, being where there's few, right? And so sometimes when we think about business ideas in the States or trying to, germinate something, there's barriers, right? Like you want to start a bar, oh, you got to have a bar license. You got to have, a triple net rent. There's,
Mhm.
obvious structural racism and things like that. Hairstyle. Oh, well, somebody's in this corner, somebody's in that corner. But when you take your skills and expertise and you take it to a developing nation, when you take it somewhere where, there is a need, but there's still an opportunity,
Yes,
that's where you can really take off, right? Because
yeah,
now you are the person that when, expats come in, oh, well, I need to get my hair done. Oh, well, I got you, boo. Right? Or,
absolutely.
oh, I have this business idea, like it was so many barriers to entry in the States. But gosh, if I go over here, boom, I got my $6-figure, $1 million business, right?
Right.
All it takes is you moving yourself into a different environment. It doesn't mean your dreams have to die, right? If
Exactly.
you stay where you are, you can literally transplant them somewhere else and allow them to germinate.
Yes, that's right. And the continent of Africa itself, now I don't have all the statistics down, Pat, but it is the most emerging as far as economy is concerned in the next 10, 20 years. I mean, it's off the charts. So there's a lot of advancement here, a lot of opportunity here. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. No, that I
Mhm.
look, like I said, between this conversation and others I've had as of late with Jeff, who's in Kenya. Look, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Come, come on,
I'm
come
coming.
on.
I'm coming. And the flight is, not as long because I'm already
Right,
on this side of the world,
right.
and not as expensive. But, like I said, for those of you who are inspired by this conversation, I've got Val's details in the description of this video.
Yeah.
Definitely loop into her. And I'll give you all a little clue. Well, not even a clue. I'll tell you something early. So, if you love this conversation with Miss Val will be a guest next season on the Blaxit Global podcast. So, we will get
Yeah.
to hear more about her amazing journey. But in the meantime, I want to thank you for staying up late to
Thank
have this
you. This is
conversation.
wonderful. This is wonderful.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you for
so much.
having me.
Oh my gosh,
Because
my pleasure.
I love everything you're doing, and I hope I've made
Thank
that
you.
apparent because you are one of the reasons why I took the leap to come
Wow. Wow.
here. And so, just all love to you.
Oh, love
I
to
really
you
appreciate you
too.
so much. I really do love
Likewise.
everything that you're doing.
Likewise. And I can't wait to, like I said, when I come over there, woo woo. Ain't
Yes,
that
come
great?
on. We're gonna have a good time.
Yes, yes, yes. And like I said, I see the chat rolls. There's people inspired breaking out their journals. Looking forward to connecting with you. And Ice Coco says, see you in Kigali. Yes. Thank you so much,
Yes, come
Val.
on. Thank
All
y'all
right,
so
y'all.
much.
Definitely connect with Val. Like I said, hit the description for that. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out if you haven't done so already. And I will be back with next week. All right. Ciao,
Thank you.
ciao.
Bye.